Rank 1, New Agent Trainee. You do not start as an agent, you start as a trainee, and the FBI wants you to feel that difference every single morning. You arrive at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia. It is a 547-acre campus inside a Marine Corps base. You are handed a room, a schedule, and a uniform. From this moment forward, your life belongs to the Bureau. The training program is 20 weeks long. Every day starts before sunrise. You run, you lift. You do defensive tactics until your body gives out, and then you do more. You are not just learning how to catch criminals, you are learning how to think like one and then think 3 steps ahead of them. Then there is firearms training. You fire thousands of rounds. You qualify with a pistol, a rifle, and a shotgun. You run shooting drills in low light, in rain, and stress positions. Every few weeks, there is a test. Fail too many and you go home. No second chances unless the Bureau specifically decides to give you one. You also go through something called Hogan's Alley, a fake town built on the academy grounds. It looks like a real neighborhood. There are shops, a bank, a motel, a post office. You walk into Hogan's Alley not knowing what is about to happen. Maybe someone pulls a weapon. Maybe a hostage situation breaks out. Maybe someone is running. You have to respond in real time with everything you have learned. By week 20, if you have survived it all, you stand in a ceremony at the academy. You raise your right hand. You take an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. You are now a special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Rank 2, Special Agent. You get assigned to a field office. The FBI has 56 of them spread across the country. Your first few years as a special agent are about learning how to actually do the job. The academy taught you theory. The field office teaches you reality, and reality is messier, slower, and far more complicated than any simulation. You are assigned to a squad. Each squad focuses on a specific area: organized crime, public corruption, cybercrime, violent crime, counterterrorism, white-collar crime, or counterintelligence. In your first assignment, you will likely be doing the work nobody else wants: surveillance, paperwork, running down leads that probably go nowhere, sitting in a car for 8 hours watching a building, knocking on doors, interviewing witnesses who do not want to talk. You learn that most FBI work is not dramatic. It is patient, it is slow, it is detail-oriented to a degree that would make most people quit. You write reports called FD 302s after every single witness interview. These documents become part of the official case record. They have to be accurate, thorough, and professionally written every time, even when you are tired, even when the interview was a dead end, even when nothing happened. But then something happens. Maybe it is a wiretap that suddenly picks up a conversation that changes everything. Maybe a confidential informant calls you at 11 p.m. with a tip that breaks open a case you have been sitting on for months. Maybe you are doing surveillance and you watch someone walk into a building who should absolutely not be in that building. In those moments, everything the academy taught you fires up at once. You call your supervisor, you coordinate with your team, you move. Your first arrest is something you will never forget. You are part of a team. You approach a house. Someone kicks the door. People are shouting. A man is on the ground in handcuffs. You stand there, badge on your belt, and for the first time you understand in your bones what this job actually is. Over the next few years, you build a reputation. You learn which supervisors to trust and which ones to stay away from. You figure out how the Bureau actually works, not the rule book version, but the real version. Which cases get resources and which ones get ignored. How to write a report that will survive scrutiny all the way up the chain of command. Rank 3, Senior Special Agent. After several years in the field, you are no longer the new agent. You are now a Senior Special Agent. This is not a formal title in the traditional sense. There is no ceremony for it, but the rank exists in practice, and everyone in your office knows who has it and who does not. You are now the person other agents come to when they have questions. You have worked enough cases to recognize patterns. You know what a real lead looks like versus a time waster. You know how to handle a difficult witness, how to build a confidential informant relationship over months without spooking them, and how to put together a case package that a federal prosecutor will actually take seriously. You may have developed a specialty by now. Perhaps you are deep in cybercrime, tracking criminal networks that operate across multiple countries and hide behind layers of encryption. Perhaps you are in counterterrorism, working joint operations with the CIA, NSA, and foreign intelligence services. Perhaps you are in public corruption, quietly building cases against elected officials, law enforcement officers, or judges who have been taking money from the wrong people. Whatever your area, you are now one of the best at it in your field office. This comes with responsibility. You start leading smaller investigations independently. You handle your own informant networks. You coordinate with other agencies, the DEA, ATF, Homeland Security, local police departments. You testify in federal court, sometimes for days at a time, walking juries through complex evidence that most people have never seen before. The hours are still brutal. Your phone rings at all hours, you miss events, you cancel plans. You see things in the course of your work that are difficult to unsee. The FBI offers counseling services for a reason. But there is something happening quietly underneath all of this. You are being watched. Your supervisors are evaluating whether you have the potential to lead. Some agents stay at this level for their entire career and are exceptional at it. The Bureau needs experienced investigators in the field more than it needs administrators. But if you want to move up, the path forward requires a different kind of ambition. You decide to pursue it. Rank 4, Supervisory Special Agent. This is where the job changes completely. As a supervisory special agent, you are no longer primarily an investigator. You are a manager. You run a squad. Depending on your field office, your squad might have 8 agents, or it might have 15. They are all working active cases. All of them need guidance, resources, approval, and leadership. And all of it flows through you. Every morning, you review what your squad is working on. You prioritize cases. You decide which operations get resources and which ones get put on the back burner. You approve surveillance operations, search warrant applications, and source development activities. If one of your agents wants to run an undercover operation, they need your sign-off. If a case is about to go to a federal prosecutor, you review the case package before it leaves your office. You also attend meetings, mini meetings. You represent your squad in briefings with your field office leadership. You coordinate with other SSAs running other squads. You deal with personnel issues, an agent who is burning out, a conflict between 2 team members, a performance problem that needs to be documented and addressed. You are also the person who has to tell an agent when their case is being closed without an arrest. That conversation is never easy. The paperwork at this level is staggering. The FBI runs on documentation. Every decision you make, every operation you approve, every resource you allocate, it gets written down. You are now responsible not just for your own documentation, but for the accuracy and quality of everything your squad produces. But the power at this level is real. When your squad gets onto a big case, a major organized crime network, a domestic terrorism cell, a sophisticated fraud scheme, you are the one driving it. You are in the room with the prosecutors. You are briefing your special agent in charge. You are making the calls that determine how the investigation unfolds. Some of your most important decisions happen at 2 in the morning, over the phone, when an agent calls you from a surveillance position and says, "Boss, something just happened. What do we do?" You make the call. Right or wrong, it is yours. Rank 5, Assistant Special Agent in Charge. The field offices of the FBI are not small operations. A major field office like New York or Los Angeles can have hundreds of agents, professional staff, analysts, and support personnel spread across multiple locations. Managing an organization that size requires serious executive leadership. As an ASAC, you are one of the senior leaders of your field office. You report directly to the special agent in charge, the person who runs the whole office, and you are responsible for overseeing multiple squads and operational divisions within that office. Your days no longer look like investigation, they look like executive management. You set strategy, you allocate budget, you manage relationships with external partners, the U.S. Attorney's Office, local and state law enforcement, federal agencies, community organizations, and in some cases, foreign law enforcement liaisons. When there is a major incident in your jurisdiction, a terrorist threat, a kidnapping, a mass casualty event, you are part of the command structure responding to it. You are also now visible to FBI headquarters in Washington. The people who run the Bureau are aware of who you are and what you are doing. This is a double-edged thing. When your field office has a success, it reflects on you. When something goes wrong, an operation that fails publicly, a civil rights complaint, an investigation that gets criticized in the press, that is on you too. Internally, you have become a mentor and a standard. Agents watch how you carry yourself. Junior supervisors study how you make decisions. The culture of the squads under your leadership is shaped in part by who you are and what you expect. Rank 6, Special Agent in Charge. You are now in charge of a field office. This means you are responsible for every single FBI operation within your jurisdiction, every case, every agent, every resource, every outcome. It ultimately comes back to you. If a major terrorism investigation unfolds in your territory, you are running the show. If a public corruption case brings down a sitting official, it happened on your watch. If something goes wrong, a bad arrest, a leaked investigation, a civil lawsuit, you will be standing in front of a microphone explaining it. The SAC is the face of the FBI in their region. You attend press conferences. You brief governors, senators, and mayors. You testify before Congress if your jurisdiction produces a significant case. You are the person the media calls when something major happens, and you are the person who decides what the Bureau says publicly and what it does not. Inside the office, you set the tone for everything. The priorities your office pursues, the culture your agents operate in, the standards of conduct, they all flow from the top. You have seen enough SACs in your career to know that the difference between a healthy field office and a dysfunctional one is almost always leadership. You make it your business to know the major cases your office is working on, even if you are not close to the day-to-day details. You hold regular briefings with your ASACs, you read significant case summaries, and you deal with crises. Because at this level, something is always in crisis. An undercover operation gets compromised. An informant goes missing. A credible threat comes in overnight. A civil rights attorney files a complaint against one of your agents. But you handle it, because you have been preparing for this job whether you knew it or not, since the moment you walked into Quantico all those years ago. Rank 7, Assistant Director. FBI headquarters sits in Washington, D.C. at the J. Edgar Hoover Building. This is where the Bureau's national strategy is built. And as an assistant director, you are one of the people building it. The FBI is divided into operational divisions, each headed by an assistant director. There is the Criminal Investigative Division, which oversees the Bureau's major criminal programs. There is the Counterterrorism Division, the Counterintelligence Division, the Cyber Division, the National Security Branch, the Intelligence Branch, and several more focused on administration, technology, training, and legal matters. This means you are shaping FBI policy at the national level. You set investigative priorities. You allocate resources across all 56 field offices. You develop the doctrines and protocols that every agent in the country follows. When a new threat emerges, a new type of cybercrime, a new extremist movement, a new method of money laundering, your division is responsible for developing the Bureau's response to it. You brief the deputy director and the director regularly. You testify before congressional committees. You coordinate with the highest levels of the intelligence community, the Director of National Intelligence, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the National Security Advisor. On major cases with national implications, you are in the room when the decisions get made. The work at this level is less about investigation and more about architecture. You are building the systems, the strategies, and the capabilities that agents on the ground will use for years or decades after you are gone. The decisions you make here have consequences you will never fully see. Rank 8, Deputy Director. As Deputy Director of the FBI, you are the Chief Operating Officer of an organization with nearly 40,000 employees, a budget of over $10 billion, and operations in every major city in the United States and offices in over 60 countries around the world. You manage the day-to-day functioning of the entire Bureau, while the Director handles the highest-level external relationships, the President, Congress, foreign leaders, the media. You handle the inside, every division, every field office. Every major decision that needs to be made below the director level comes through you. You know every significant case the Bureau is working on, not the details, there are thousands of cases, but the significant ones. The ones with national security implications, the ones that could affect public safety on a large scale, the ones that could become politically explosive. You track them, you make sure the right people are on them, you make sure they are being handled correctly. You also make personnel decisions at the highest levels. Who gets promoted to assistant director? Who gets assigned to which division? Who gets the difficult postings and who gets the high-profile ones? The career trajectories of thousands of employees are shaped, in part, by decisions that cross your desk. When the director is unavailable, traveling, testifying, and classified briefings, you run the FBI. No transition, no ceremony. The responsibility simply falls to you and you carry it. You have been doing this your entire adult life. You know how to carry it. But there is one more step, and you have been offered it. Rank 9, Director of the FBI. You are confirmed by the United States Senate. You serve a 10-year term, by law, a single term, designed specifically to insulate the position from political pressure by making sure no president can simply install someone loyal and keep them there indefinitely. You are the Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Your agency is responsible for investigating federal crimes across the country. It runs the National Crime Information Center, used by law enforcement hundreds of millions of times a year. It operates the Terrorist Screening Center. It runs the nation's premier forensic laboratory. It manages the largest fingerprint database in the world. It conducts counterintelligence operations against foreign governments trying to spy on American soil. All of it is yours to lead. The job is unlike anything you have done before, even at the deputy director level. The visibility is total. Your decisions are scrutinized by Congress, by the press, by civil liberties advocates, by foreign governments, by the public. Every major investigation the Bureau conducts will eventually have your name attached to it in some way. When the FBI gets it right, you stand at the podium with the Attorney General. When the FBI gets it wrong, you sit before the Senate Judiciary Committee and answer for it. You have learned across a career that spans decades that the FBI is only as good as the people in it, not the technology, not the budget, not the legal authorities, the people. You have spent your career inside this institution and you know its strengths and its weaknesses more deeply than anyone. You know where the culture is healthy and where it needs work. You know which programs are delivering results and which ones are running on institutional momentum. So you lead, not from behind a desk, though there is plenty of desk work. You lead by being clear about what the Bureau stands for, by making difficult decisions and owning them publicly, by protecting your agents when they need protection and holding them accountable when they need accountability, by making sure that the FBI, flawed, powerful, and absolutely necessary, does the work it was built to do. You have been in this building for 3 decades. You have run surveillances and kicked in doors and sat in cars for 12 hours in January. You have written thousands of reports and made thousands of calls and attended thousands of briefings. You have buried colleagues. You have watched people you believed in make terrible choices. You have seen the worst of what human beings do to each other, and you kept showing up anyway. And now you sit at the top of it. The seal of the Federal Bureau of Investigation hangs on the wall behind your desk. Around the outside, in Latin, is the motto of the Bureau: fidelity, bravery, integrity. You have lived all three.